Hi, this is Shifu Aaron at Dragon Phoenix Kung Fu in Asheville, North Carolina. Today's question is, are forms useless? Um, you know, this one always takes me back to when I was a kid. I remember, I think it was like in first grade or something, saw like Karate Kid 2 came out in the movie theaters, went to see it, was really stoked. Um, I think that was the one, it's been a long time. And at the end of the movie, Daniel San, he's going through I can't remember how it goes, karate kata, and like all these guys are like attacking him, and all he's got to do is his form, and he's like warding off all these bad guys. And as a little kid, I thought that was silly. So yeah, you don't fight with forms. Forms teach the ins and outs of the style. I mentioned in another book, they're kind of like the textbook. They teach all of the movements, the physics, the mechanics of it, the mindset of it, the posture of it, the speed, the power, the intention, all of those things. Forms play a really important role in traditional martial arts styles. Not all martial arts styles have forms. Sometimes they focus just on what works for fighting, and it's just straight, clear to the point. And so I've heard someone describe to me the difference between a martial artist and a martialist. So martialist is focusing more on just what can win things in a fight. What works. Simple with that. Whereas a martial artist is working to dive deeper into what is the art of the martial arts style, all the ins and the outs and the depths and the internal feelings and the personal growth and so forth. So forms are very important for the traditional styles, but you can't have forms just stand alone on themselves. You have to practice drills, exercises, applications. You have to pressure test it to make sure it works, because something may feel really nice in a form, and then you go to use it against someone, and then you're like, whoa, that just did not work at all. Now you realize, oh, I have to adjust my hips, my center of gravity, where I'm rooting, and make all these subtle changes. And all of a sudden, sometimes little things are what make all the difference in the world, even between like the direction, the angle of the foot, and so forth, for generating power in the legs. And so when you pressure test yourself, you start to learn those things. And then when you go back to your empty hand forms, then you're making those adjustments and feeling it and having all those aha moments. So no, forms are not useless. Forms are really, really important. They're not necessary in some styles, and other styles they are. But it's really important that they are, they fit, they work. I know there's a lot of people alter and change things. For me, I'm very much more like a purist and traditional with things. And so, I start to learn a new form and a different style. And, sometimes in my mind, I think, oh, this is silly. This wouldn't work. This is ridiculous. But I know better than that, because I know that the style knows better than me in that about the style. And so really the truth with it is to trust in the form, practice, do over and over and over again, ask questions, see why it's working, why it's not working, how to refine and build to be better, and don't just start throwing stuff out or modifying, adjusting stuff, because sometimes things that when you're starting to learn make no sense, later on will reveal some really great depths and insights as to what's really going on behind the physics and mechanics of the style. So there's my thoughts on that. Feel free, I'd love to hear what you've got to say also. So put questions, thoughts, comments below. I'd love to hear what you got to say.